Dennis, you know, I came over to you and I thought this is just another internet bubble kind of deal. Facebook is paying $1 billion. We don't know
Cash and stock.
cash and stock, but we don't know how much is cash and how much is stock.
And what the valuation is on the
and
stock,
what the valuation really is.
So,
exactly. So a lot of open questions, but the point is this company's been in existence all of like less than 2 years. I mean, we're talking about
I counted 551 days. 551. What were you doing 551? The exact same thing you're doing now, which is its own existential problem.
My show was not going then, but I agree with your general point.
But it's a relevant point in that there's what's amazing about this web bubble, if you want to call it that, and that's under debate, is that the velocity and the scale with which companies are able to build massive valuations. It's even faster than what we saw back over a decade ago.
I don't think so. I think the other tech bubble was much worse. But if we look at Instagram and we look at, say, I don't even know, call it some of its peers or some of the other richly valued tech companies out there, like a Pandora or a LinkedIn or a Groupon, for example. You know, the reality is that those things have really fantastic valuations. We're talking Groupon, even after all its troubles, is still sporting an $8 billion or $9 billion valuation.
That's correct.
For a company that's never made real profits.
Correct.
So if we're going to look, let's go forward. Let's go into our time machine, Dennis. We're going to go forward 2 or 3 years from now. You and I are sitting down, maybe a Passover Seder 2 or 3 years from now. Are we going to look back at Instagram and go, Facebook really got taken to the cleaners?
Well, I don't think it matters from the context of Facebook. If you believe that Facebook has a valuation of, let's say, $90 to $100 billion, it literally is a rounding error, right? Literally. So I don't think that matters. I think we'll be asking the question, was the market really fully appreciating the value of these companies and the scale at which they could build or not? And I actually, as someone who's skeptical about all these things, I still have these like doubts in my head. You know what? These really are incredible wealth creation machines. So take for example this iPhone app. I'm not playing it. It's called Draw Something. It's kind of like Pictionary on your iPhone. That was able to become one of the top iPhone apps in less than 6 weeks. The company that owned it eventually sold out to Zynga for, I think, over $300 million. What we're seeing with these devices is the capacity to build millions and millions and millions of users.
So it's different this time, Dennis Berman. You know what?
There are elements that are different, yes.
You know what? We could have been having this discussion in 1999, in 2000, and it might have been a little different, but it's directionally different. And here's what I mean. If you take something like YouTube, which Google acquired at what at the time was perceived to be a lot of money,
$1.65 billion.
At least YouTube had an economic model, which was for Google, disclosure, my wife works at Google, to overlay their advertising model onto YouTube so you could get comfortable with it. If Zynga, how is Zynga monetizing Draw, whatever this application is? How is Facebook going to monetize Instagram? And that, for me, is the key. Can they monetize it?
I think you have to look at it from the perception of a product set. Photos are ever more important in our lives. Our devices have made it possible for us to share them. If Facebook can offer, in the end, a better set of products and services to its customers than, say, Google, which is behind in these. In what?
The Instagram. In the Instagram.
Well, I'd say in the social game, definitely behind.
We got a quote from Mark Zuckerberg. Let's see what he had to say about this. Mark Zuckerberg, basically saying, we will try to learn from Instagram's experience to build similar features into our other products. Blah blah blah. At the same time, Instagram. Blah blah blah. This is the blah blah blah.
But keeping more people on Facebook for more time with more photos has an economic value for Facebook. I mean, of course it does.
Right. But the bottom line, we agree. If Mark Zuckerberg had to, or the board of Facebook, if they had $1 billion of cash in their pocket, not related to Facebook, would they have paid $1 billion for Instagram?
So if it was just an independent buyer?
Yes.
No, it's not worth it.